Do you know what is anxiety? Why do many people suffer from anxiety? Anxiety is the pathology that most people have, and also most people are unaware of the origin of anxiety. Anxiety has its level from passive to chronic. That led to attack where there is complete lack of control. When one suffers from anxiety, it is the sensation or the pain that we always lack something, and that something is so important, so strong, that we don't know what is this or where it's come from. We cannot discover because the mind seeks to supplant this emptiness pain with a logical reason or external problem to use. I mean, the mind acts with a mechanical system in which it quickly chooses a problem that we have or have had and focus on it. In this way, the mind replaces the origin of the anxiety for an existing problem, and the result is that the anxiety already has a name or a logical reason external to us. On the other hand, the mind chooses for a problem cause us a big emotion feelings that cause us also big stress. And the mind usually tends to exaggerate the problems when we are stressed and with fears. When we like much or dislike much something and we focus on that, in this moment, the emotion will grow. The mind tends to exaggerate. In this way, the mind creates additional story. And when someone creates additional story, automatically the origin story looks like different. Example, when one man he dislike very much working in have this job, example, and he speak with his friend about his job, how much he dislike, and he start to feel emotional, more emotional and more emotional, go deep in this problem. Suddenly he's more emotional, and his emotion will grow, and also his stress will grow. In a consequence, the mind tend to exaggerate. And then in this way, his story that must not match the initial problem. And if this man go to speak with another people, with another friends, with the same problem, and he don't focus in this problem, only he speak about this, so in the consequence, his emotional is not go deep. This stress is not also not big. The emotion is not big. And the consequence, the mind don't tend to exaggerate. So in the way, the initial story is more or less the same. So of course, I mean, he have this problem, it's stressful, don't go disappear, of course, because he dislike this job. But I want to try to say, when he's go deep emotional and he focus on that, in this moment, he's more emotional. And also in this moment, the stress also is big. And a consequence of this, the minds tend to exaggerate. So extra story with suffering, with painful, when stress, additional stress. Also in the pleasant way, example when one woman when one woman liked very much to see how his child sleeping, and she started to speaking with her friends how she's so beautiful his child is sleeping. And then when she go to deep more in this more deep speak about this more deep, then she's more emotional. So when she's more emotional, so she can create a story with illusion, addition, because she only see it and not others do not see it. In this way also the story does not match the initial story, and also in this way the story, the mind exaggerate when someone are very emotional. The mind tend to exaggerate, and in this way she surpassed the reality. And many people have another type of pleasant stories, and then when they surpass the reality, make illusion, then it's not reality, it's not real. And when they discover it's not real, they suffering. So both in these two cases, the pleasant way and the problems, we need to see, we need to aware what is real and what is not real, what is illusion, what is not illusion, what is the real stress or problem, and not try to involving more and more in the problem, for the mind can control this with tend to exaggerate. The mind tend to exaggerate in the two cases, in a negative or positive way. So this is, we need make a balance. We need make a balance for no suffering, for to know what happened, real what happened, and not make illusion or ghost, superficially illusions that does not exist in the pleasant way or in the negative way. No, we don't need extra suffering for something. It's really in our mind, the mind created these type of things because they tend to exaggerate, and this is not mean the problem don't exist. Of course, the problem exists, the stress exists, but no extra problem, no extra suffering, because when we focus on something, in some problem, then we suffering, extra suffering, and we don't need this. We need to try to resolve our problems. We need to try to resolve. If some problem cannot resolve, we need to learn something. Everything is for learn something. But what is anxiety? Anxiety is the state of internal painful emptiness. Our spirit feels that we are not unified, and the mind you have to feel that void. He said the mind. You have to feel that void. The mind says you have to look a reason to say that or who is the guilty. The mind is looking for any problem that exists or existed. A problem we're suffering in this moment, or in this moment, or in the last time. And we focus on that, and we blame this problem or this person. But the true anxiety is the state of disconnection between the body and its essence of spirit. That is our true essence. It is the true empty, the true pain. And when we deeply reflect on this, automatically we stop suffering for the external problem. This is not mean the problem goes stop, of course not. Only we realize the problem is that we do not, the problem is come from this connection between the body and our senses of spirit. The problem that we don't realize that. We don't realize that we are a spiritual being with a divine essence. And this truth is not only mine, it is also yours and everyone's. And it is the responsibility of all of us to look inside to ourselves, to heal ourselves, and to know that you are responsible for everything that happened to you in life. We are reaching a state where the human beings has already have enough experience to have already learning and to be cured for our traumas, of understand that there is within us why we have it, why we have it already have crossed several levels of learning through our painful experience that give us the wings to grow eternally, and we able to become control our emotions of each painful experience, transmute them into positive emotions. This is the true magic, the true happiness that every human being should come to learn, that happiness is obtained through the transmutation from painful emotion to a positive emotion. And of course, this is not easy, but also is not impossible. And also, of course, exists some painful emotion we cannot transmute. Example, when someone died, or when we're suffering from someone, or we feel sadly for someone. So exists case we cannot transmute. It's very difficult to transmute. Only with the time we can get more happiness. But we have already have enough time to learn to control our emotions, and not that emotion control us. In this way, this is the only way to raise our levels of frequency, to be able to enter to high dimensions. This is the real reason why you and I were born on this planet. when one dies. It does not take away anything, neither our triumphs, not our success, not our work, not our house or our material things or our creations. We only take our sense, which everything that we have grown internally. Love and light to you.